Hi everybody, this is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. Welcome to lesson number 51. This is a review lesson. Let's begin by setting up the table. You'll need your top 160 sight word list, the sight word study method instruction sheet, the student's sight word card pack, some blank index cards, a highlighter, markers, and some pencils. For the short vowel drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheet, the keyword pictures, and the keyword sentence. For the phonemic awareness drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheet and the colored tiles for the student. For the visual drill and auditory drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheets and the student's card pack. You'll have to cut out the syllable card drill in advance and have it all ready and set up on the table. And you can scramble it or unscramble it as much as you deem necessary. And then moving on to the magnetic letter tile drill for reading and spelling, you'll need the teacher instruction sheets and the cookie sheet with the letters spread in a rainbow shape for the student. You'll need the syllable pounding instruction sheet, the new phoneme grapheme kinesthetic discovery sheet, and the sheets that go with today's lesson. In addition, we'll be using the same two drills that we used in lesson 50 to review the sound of schwa on the letter A. And we'll do it on the first syllable and then have another drill to show that it can be done on the second syllable. In addition to all of that, you might have a timer on the table. You'll need this if you've introduced a fluency element. You will do this by adding a secondary program such as Read Naturally or the 6-minute reading solution. Let's start with sight words. Student, can you take out your sight word card pack? You will read through each word in your pack. When you get a word correct, you'll put a check mark in the bottom corner. When you're finished reading, you will pass the card pack over to your teacher, and then it's your teacher's turn to read. Your teacher reads each word and you write the word down. When you write a word correctly, you'll use the other corner of your card to put a check mark. And teacher, you're ready with blocking strategies in case the student encounters difficulties. It's time for the short vowel drill. You'll need your keyword pictures and your keyword sentence. Take out your first picture, and with 2 fingers, you're going to trace the target shape. And you'll say the target word, so it could be apple. Then you'll underline it and say the target sound, ah. Do this as many times as your teacher deems necessary, and then move on to the next sound. Once you're finished all the short vowel sounds, then you will go on to take out your keyword sentence. You'll read the sentence, stretching out the vowel sounds as you do it. Let's do the phonemic awareness drill. You're going to need your colored tiles for this one. So, student, I would like you to take out a colored tile and call it J. Can you repeat that sound? Okay. Here's your next sound. Can you repeat that sound? Now grab a tile and put it right after your J. Okay. The last tile is Can you repeat that sound? Now put your tile right at the end so you've got those 3 sounds. Tap it and say it. Did you get jum? If you did, that's right. Let's turn that into a real word. Add a p onto the end. Now tap it, say it. Did you get jump? I will jump up and down. If you did, that's right. Find the j in jump and touch that tile. Change the j into a o and tap it and say it. Did you get lump? If you did, that's right. Let's add a s onto the front of lump. Now tap it, say it. Did you get slump? If I do this to my shoulders are high and now they're slumped. Slump. Okay, find the in slump. Are you touching it? Change the in slump into an ah. And what is your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get slamp? If you did, that's right, not a real word. Change the S in slamp into a K. What's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get clamp? If you did, that's right. Great job, you can put your tiles away. Let's move on to the visual drill. Student, you'll need your card pack for this one. The teacher flashes a card and the student says the sound. Let's try one. What's this one? Did you say caw? If you did, that's right. You can also read it as an open syllable co. Either one's correct. Okay, teacher, you can flash about 6 to 8 cards and then come back to me. Let's do the auditory drill. Student, your sound is J. Can you repeat that sound? Now say the sound again as you write down the symbols for that sound J. Once you're finished, underline it and say the sound again. Now, are there any other ways that you know to write that symbol? Do you know more than one for J? Did you write GI? If you did, that's correct. You could also write JI. That's another combo that would work too. Great job. Teacher, you can do about 6 to 8 cards in this way and then come back to me. It's time for the syllable card drill. We're doing 4 syllable words today. As you're doing the drill, you'll read down each of the columns from left to right, and then you'll read across each row, making nonsense words as you go. Then it's time to unscramble the different columns to create real words. As you make the real words, discuss the meanings of the words and try to put some of them into sentences. Also, be talking about the different prefixes, those little beginnings that you're seeing again and again in the drills. There's some that are very common, and we want you to start to get to recognize those. And the endings, which are known as suffixes. Let's pound out some syllables. I'll say a word, and I want you to repeat that word. And I want you to stretch out your arm, and every time you hear a syllable, you're going to pound it out. If you'd rather, you could put your hand under your chin, and your chin drops and hits your hand every time a syllable happens, so you can choose which method you want to use. Let's start with this one. Inject. How many syllables? Inject. I hear the I and an eh, so those are 2 vowel sounds, so there's 2 syllables. How about this one? Ject. I only hear one in that one. It's the S sound. Okay, here's one. Disinfect. Let's try that one. Disinfect. I got 3 on that one. Okay, how about this? Discredited. Discredited. There's 4 in that one. Okay, great job. Now you're going to take out your syllabication sheet and we're going to practice scooping syllables. Your sheet looks like this one. And yesterday we worked on the schwa sound, and we learned that there's a special symbol that we use when we're doing syllabication for schwa. So remember that we said that on an A, the schwa sound is going to make an sound. And the symbol for that looks like an upside down E. And teacher, you are going to help the student identify the different syllable types, because we are starting to use syllable types that are not just closed syllables here. If there was, for example, like the student hasn't been taught VCE, so if the student wants to take a challenge and do that word, you would supply that. And you can also talk about open syllables and how they work as well. We've been talking a lot about the 1-1-1 rule. Teacher, can you discuss this with your student? Have your student talk about how this rule works. And to practice it, on today's sheet, we've got complete nonsense words. It doesn't matter that these are nonsense words. You can figure out how to spell them if you add the suffix ed or ing, just based on the 1-1-1 rule. Do as many as your teacher deems necessary, because your teacher's got an eye on the time, and then come back to me. In our last lesson, you were introduced to the schwa. Do you remember what a schwa is? It's the most common vowel sound of all. It's that tendency of us when we speak, we mess around with the vowel sounds. We're quite lazy when we speak. And we tend to insert the laziest sound, the simplest vowel sound to make. And we do this incorrectly on different vowels that you would not have the sound. When an A gets schwa'd, as it does in so many female names like Shawna, my name ends in an A, but it's the sound that we make at the end of my name. Shawna, Christina, Angela, Maria, so many. But it happens at the beginning of words too. Mid instead of a mid. Long instead of a long. So many occasions where schwas are happening. It usually happens in the unstressed syllable in a multisyllable word. And you need to know that on an A, it will make the sound. Can you say that sound? Which is the sound of the short U. Do the same two drills that we did in lesson 50 to review this concept of schwa. And we'll start with the one where the schwa is happening on the first syllable, the A, all by itself. And then we'll go on to the second drill in which the schwa is happening on the final syllable in the two-syllable word. You can follow along on the video, or if your teacher has it already for you set up on the table, that's the best way to do it of all. You just tap it and say it, and make sure that if it is being schwa'd, that you, instead of saying A, you're saying Let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for a reading. You'll need your cookie sheet with letters spread in a rainbow shape for this one. Your sound is S. Can you repeat that sound? Okay, find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your next sound is O. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. That is syllable number 1, because this is a two-syllable word. So let's just tap that first syllable and say it. Okay, did you get so? If you did, that's right. Let's do syllable number 2. F. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now if you hear that sound and you hear that it's in an open syllable, your ding ding ding, let's be thinking, is that a true U or is it a schwa? And in this case it was a schwa. So what's that word? Tap it and say it. The word is sofa, and you would spell it S-O-F-A. We know that it can't be the sound because is the short U sound. The words are only made short if they're closed syllables. The vowels are only allowed to be short in a closed syllable. So in an open syllable, you won't get that sound. Okay, put your tiles away and let's try a new one. Here's your first syllable, Okay, that's a syllable all on its own. Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Okay, the next syllable is Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Can you repeat that sound? And find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And D. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap and say each syllable. Did you get amid? And did you spell it A-M-I-D? If you did, that's right. Okay, you can put your tiles away and you can move on to the individual word list and then the short story. And after that, if your teacher has introduced a fluency element, that's where you'll do your timed reading. Let's move into the writing section. Pull out your magnetic letter tile board with your letters in a rainbow shape. Your word is tundra. Can you repeat that word? Now try and use tundra in a sentence. Okay, how many syllables are in tundra? I hear 2, tun and dra, and we're going to try to spell it syllable by syllable. So what's the first sound that you hear in tun? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in tun? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in tun? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap it and say it. Do you have T-U-N? If you do, that's right. And now let's do the second syllable. Dra. What's the first sound that you hear in dra? Okay, find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in dra? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in dra? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now we hear that sound at the end. In our first syllable, we did have an as well, but it was followed by a consonant, a babysitter. So that's just a closed syllable acting just as we would expect the closed syllable to do. But in this case, the sound is hanging out at the end of the syllable and it's not closed in. That's ding, 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 alarm bells. Something's happening there. So it's being schwad. So did you spell tundra T-U-N-D-R-A? If you did, that's correct. Teacher, if you have time, you can do more words in this way. And if not, then we're going to move on to writing single words. So student, you'll need your line paper and a pencil. I'd like you to tap out each sound when I say the word, and then grab the word and say the whole word. Or if you'd rather, you could trace on your body and you could trace the shape of the letter, saying the sound as you do it. And then grab the whole word and say the whole word and then write it down. So your word is zebra. Can you repeat that word? Okay. Let's say the first syllable in zebra. Okay. Tap it out and then write it down. And then the second syllable in zebra. Tap it and then write it down. Okay, did you write Z-E-B-R-A? If you did, that's right. Let's try a new one. Your word is, let's do ago. Can you repeat that word? I might say a long time ago. Okay, what's the first syllable in ago? Ago. Okay, tap it out and write it down. And what's the second syllable in ago? Tap out the sounds in that syllable and write it down. Okay, did you write it A-G-O because the A is being schwad? If you did, that's right. Teacher, if you have time, you can do more words in this way. And if not, then go right on to the sentence portion. The teacher will read the 3 sentences to you, student, and you can decide which 2 you would like to write. After you write a sentence, remember to use CHOPS to check your work. Let's do a quick review before you go. One thing that we've been working on is the 1-1-1 rule. Student, knowing what you know about the 1-1-1 rule, is this word spelled correctly? Okay, explain to your teacher why this word is either spelled correctly or incorrectly. And what is the base in this word? Did you say mat is the base in this word? And what is the suffix in this word? Ed is the suffix in this word. The other big concept on which we've been working is the schwa, and how schwa can happen on an A commonly. What is the sound that a schwa makes on the letter A? Instead of saying A, we say the short U sound. So what would this word be? 2 syllables. We'll start here. We'll say schwa on the A, and then what's this word? Tap it and say it. That's long, so this is along. It's very common to schwa an A. Schwa often happens in the open syllable, and it happens on unstressed syllables. So what do I mean by that? Well, there's a rhythm when we talk. And in a multisyllable word, there's going to be some syllables that we punch out, that we say a little bit louder and stronger than the other syllables. So let's say along. I'm going to call that word to dinner. Along. Which syllable was stressed? Which one was louder and longer when I said it? Along. It was long. Do you hear how that lasted for longer when I said it? Along. So that's what we mean when we stress something. It's coming out louder and longer. This one we kind of gloss over. It goes pretty quickly. And it would take longer to say a long. So we are very lazy and we speed things up by schwaing all of these poor vowels that should be making their own sounds, but we schwa them. So to speed it up, we say along. And that is the end of lesson number 51. Great job today. This is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy.